Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Kay, and I am here today to bring you your Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 104 review. Okay, y'all. So as we know, we are preparing for Martin's fundraising event. Now, the fundraising event is about to start, but it has not quite started yet. So we just have a lot of things, this was another like builder episode where we're building up what's going to happen. I'm assuming that this whole week, all the episodes will be catered around the fundraising event. Let's start with the minute things. We got Samantha and Tyrell. They were at the country club where the fundraising event was about to be held, but they end up leaving, which I'm surprised because I just knew that because this is for Martin's political race, that he would want his family there, to have the whole image thing going. But the two kids leave and go to Orphe Jean's. So they go to Orphe Jean's. At Orphe Jean's, Jan and Mona are there. They're having, I guess, a fundraising event there to help Mona raise money to help renovate a part of the church. So they asked where their mom is, but their mom worked an earlier shift, so she's not there. But Samantha and Tyrell basically sit down and talk about Tyrell and Jessica's future. Samantha basically confronts Tyrell again about missing her being Crown Platinum Deb, which he said he has apologized numerous times for. And so they just talk about the his future with Jessica. And so basically Samantha says that she knows that Samantha and Tyrell were trying to be grown, and that's why he missed her moment. And that Jessica told her everything, and that she just basically checks on Tyrell. Tyrell in the beginning is like, to me, trying to be mean because he feels like Samantha is jealous. And plus, I still think, they went a little soft on Tyrell given what happened. Because they near about had a conniption when Samantha was about to do it. And they only 1 year apart. So to me, it ain't that real big of a difference. But regardless if he's a guy, it was still inappropriate. And who knows, Jessica in the incoming weeks may be with child. That's not funny. I'm just saying. Sorry, y'all. I laugh when I'm not supposed to all the time. But yeah, so she's saying, Tyrell, I don't want you to get hurt. Jessica seems like she's still going to UCLA. I just want to fill you in on everything because she talked to me. And Tyrell basically is still under the notion that he can convince Jessica not to go to UCLA, that she does not, she will not enjoy life on the West Coast, and that she needs to be a manager with him. Lord, to be young and to think, the world is so simple. We'll see what happens. Smitty is at the fundraising event right now. Last episode, he said he won't gonna stay the whole time. Because he's supposed to be meeting his deadline. And, that goes back to Jacob. We saw Jacob in the episode looking online for the post that Smitty was supposed to be making about the impaler. I'm gonna get to that. I'm not gonna jump ahead of myself. We see Danny and Naomi have a conversation about Jacob. Jacob has not shown up. Jacob is supposed to be Naomi's +1 to Martin's fundraising event. But because Jacob is so, engulfed is the word I want to use today. Engulfed in, figuring out the impaler, finding out. He has made it his life's mission to find out everything about this plasma ring, even though they are no longer in the DMV. And find out because he wants to avenge Derek's death. And I have some concerns about this that I will be speaking on later in this review because, I just feel like it's not a good idea. But nonetheless, Jacob is just being adamant. And so, even Elon has been on him saying, Jacob, you're doing too much. You're going above and beyond. You know, we did the best we can. Because Jacob was even in there badgering Ren. It was said that Leah has, you know, met her max at how many medical emergencies and sensitivities she can have. And so she will be transferred from Garland to the jail. So Jacob said he did want to be there for that. Naomi is telling Danny that, you know, she don't know how much more she can take, you know, again. Naomi saying she don't know how much more she can take. Naomi is saying she don't know how much more she can take of Jacob just, you know, being head first in his career. Like she hasn't done the same in prior episodes. But hey, whatever. And she doesn't know how much more she can be supportive. And she talks to her mom about it. And Danny basically just says, Naomi, this is his job. This is his passion. What if this is really his career's big break? And then you don't want to be standing in the way of it and having resentment toward it. Thank you, Danny. Thank you for being reasonable and bringing her back down. Because she always is up. And I'm starting to think that the reason why Naomi is like this is because she saw firsthand how her father wreaked havoc in him and his in her mother in his relationship. Dang, can I get it out? And so I think because she saw how miserable her mom was, I think she's doing everything in her control not to try to make things miserable, but she's being overbearing in the process. I'm trying to be understanding, I really am. But y'all know, I don't like to be tugging at Naomi wig, but I'm going to have to tug at it because I just feel like she be doing... Nonetheless, Danny told her to go and knock on Ashley's door and ask Ashley if she wanted to be +1. Find Ashley a gown real quick. Danny got a gown in her closet Ashley can have. Anywho's, Andre shows back up with the gift about this invisible string that's supposed to be something Japanese based, because you know they're supposed to be going to Tokyo for Kat and where was Kat and Chelsea at? Kat and Chelsea fashion show, and so he bought her a ring, and it was a cute sweet moment between them. It was a cute sweet moment. I really like Andre and Danny together. Andre is really thoughtful of Danny, and I'm just hoping that in these incoming days during this fundraising event, I did see Bill and Danny get thrown in the elevator. Bill and Danny, do not let me down. Do not let me down, Bill and Danny. I'm not even playing with y'all for real. I'm not. I'm just not. We see Victor Newman show up in his private helicopter or jet or whatever he arrived, and Vernon met him with a beverage. He said, "Congratulations, I'm so happy for you to be here, my grandson. Here's a glass of tequila. Let's toast." He got Victor his favorite. And I just enjoy it because do y'all understand how iconic of a scene that is? That is Victor Newman. I don't know his real name, but he is soap opera gold. And do y'all know that is the Clifton Davis? There's two icons, okay? Legendary. But anyway, he was like, "I'm just so thankful that you are here to give this keynote speech for my grandson." And Victor is just, you know, giving Vernon back all the pleasantries that he's giving him, saying, you know, I'll do anything for you. You're my favorite. I'm so glad to, you know, do this speech for your grandson. And then they go to the country club. Anita is there, and then Vernon and Victor show up, and then Martin and Smitty are introduced to Victor and how they're so happy that he's there because they're really trying to pull in the votes and pull in the public and sway the public that Martin is the candidate that they should vote for. So everybody is going to be at this fundraising event so Martin can get them sponsors and get them donations for his campaign, period. What else? Oh, now, Joey and Vanessa. Vanessa questions Joey being forthcoming about, you know, what exactly went on yesterday. Joey, of course, is still lying. This is why I can't believe nothing Joey is saying. In the process of Joey, because you know the scenes keep switching. So in the process of Joey talking to Vanessa, there's a knock on the door, and Jacob shows up. And I'm like, Jacob, what you doing at Joey penthouse now? So Jacob says that Ren gave him a name of somebody that's supposed to be in the blood ring as well. I don't know what exactly Ren told him, but I don't know if Ren fabricated something, because Ren said episodes ago he was just a peon. So I'm like, well, if you just a peon, Ren, then why are you trying to give information you don't know about? I don't know. And maybe the name he gave is the man who shot Derek. But nonetheless, Jacob takes it upon himself to come to Joey. And Vanessa tries to butt in. Vanessa, see, and that's another thing. Vanessa always be trying to overstep. Jacob ain't talking to you, girl. He said Joey. And it took for Joey to tell her to stand down. Girl, please. Stay in your lane. You don't know everything. You only know what that man tells you. And you don't want to mess around and put yourself in a situation to where Joey get caught up and then you get caught up trying to think you holding him down or something. Girl, hush. Anyway. So, Jacob asks Joey, gives Joey the name or whatever. And so Joey basically tells Jacob that, you know, if that's the name that was given, then that's the name that was given. He don't know much. He just know that the person is very influential or whatever. And so then Jacob was like, well, when I came to you the first time about information, you didn't give me anything or whatever like that. And Joey was like, I'm not going to give you information willingly. I have a code that I live by. I said, okay, code. And so then he told Jacob any more information. He said the information he just gave him now was a courtesy, but any more information he's going to want is going to require a price. And see, that's how Joey be getting people, because they be willing to do anything for a price, but then they don't realize that that price ain't just the price. He say it's the price plus some. You're going to have to do some more after that price that you pay. And so I'm just like, Jacob, please. What you don't want to do is get involved. And so Joey tells Vanessa that he doesn't know she asked more about Heather. He was just like, I don't know if you've been forthcoming. And then Vanessa starts saying stuff about Joey's family. And Joey was like, how do you know about my family? You don't even know my family like that. You just know what I told you. And I was just like, bloop. And then she was like, from what I can assume, you know, what I've been told, with what you told me, I can see that you're not like your family, whatever. I was like, girl, he's exactly like the family. He might be worse. You don't know. Just hush. Everything that everybody has been telling you, girl, is valid, but yet you think I know Joey. No, you don't, girl. You don't know that man. So anyway, so Joey tells more lies. He talking about some, well, I may have omitted some things, and then you know, commences to omit some more things. But he says, well, I don't know exactly what my sister does, and I didn't really ask her. He was just like, but I'm looking forward to, you know, building the XOXO relationship or whatever. But then Vanessa says, well, I'm thinking you withholding information about the impaler that you didn't tell me. And he was like, well, I did withhold some things. And he was just like, the impaler asked me to go into business with him. And I told him that I was not interested in going into business, and that you can go ahead and move around. And so Vanessa was like, and you think he's going to take that lightly? And then Joy was like, he doesn't have a choice. He doesn't want to mess with me. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So yeah, Leslie is in the episode as well. You know, Mona still got Leslie on ice, rightfully so, because what Leslie did was just low. But Jan seems to be more forgiving, and she shows up to the event basically because of Jan. But Leslie ends up writing Mona a donation for the church. And then they do have a brief conversation because Jan basically told Leslie, the update about Mona's health. And Let's Go walk up to that girl was like, yeah, Jen told me you had the sugar. Girl, Leslie, for real, stop playing. But yeah, she was just like, she know that they're not cool, but she still wanted to come through with the donation or whatever, just to, try to put her good foot out there. I was like, okay then, Leslie. And then she ends up receiving a call saying that she can move forward with the construction of her home. So she about to start her shit again. They about to be mad. They about to be real mad. They about to be mad. Now what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Joey also informs Elon about Jacob's visit. And I'm just like, see, this is what I be talking about. This is exactly what I be talking about. You see how Joey is so tapped in? Because it was like when Danny came over to visit Vanessa, the security guard texted Joey and told him about told her about Danny coming. He approved her coming. And then Joey texted Elon and told Elon that Jacob came to visit. And so when Jacob got back to the station, Elon was like, Jacob, what was you doing going to visit Joey? And Jacob was like, well, Ren told me some intel and I had to go to Joey and verify if it was true. And Elon was like, I don't want you getting wrapped up in Joey. See, Jacob only knows, that there's a potential. He knows that Malone is dirty, but he don't necessarily know all his daddy tea. And he knows that his daddy has been involved in some things, but he don't know to what extent. And so Jacob still does not know about the whole thing with Martin and, Elon being involved in that to a certain extent. And so basically Jacob is kind of in the dark about a lot of things, but messing with Joey is going to put Elon in a dangerous position. Now, if they're chasing after Impaler, this is the part that I want to get to earlier. If they're chasing after Impaler, right? The Impaler being Joey's sister means that there's a chance that Joey's sister won't go against Joey because that's her brother. She's not going to betray him and she's going to look out for him. And same vice versa. That's his sister. And now that he knows his sister is the Impaler, he is going to do whatever to cover his sister's tracks because he owes loyalty. That's his sister. Now, the reason why this could be a conflict of interest is because the more Jacob digs, Elon already went to Joey prior and was like, Joey, if you are involved or if you know anybody who is involved, let me know now. That way I can move things around. Joey said he wasn't involved. Unbeknownst to him, he wasn't involved and he didn't know that his sister was the Impaler. Now, Joey would not give up that information. That's why he's still referring to the Impaler as a he, even though he knows the true identity of the Impaler. Randy was not in the room. So Randy does not know the true identity of the Impaler either. So none of this information about the Impaler or who she may be is not out. But the reason why this is dangerous is because Joey has a pact with Elon, with Vernon, with Malone. They all are in on it. With Martin, Bill, and Isaiah. He has gave all of them men his word on keeping, things, squeaky clean. And it's their secret, He's keeping everything even keeled because he's made a deal with them. And so they're in cahoots together. They cover up. They don't work for Joey. But if Joey does something, they come to Joey. Or if anything goes on the street, they come to Joey and let Joey know. And then Joey cleans stuff up on the back end for them. That way they don't have to worry about it. So with Joey being in cahoots with them, Joey is supposed to be protecting Elon, right? Joey told Elon that he would never do anything to put Jacob in danger of being hurt, right? So here's the thing. If he knows that, if Joey knows that Jacob is going after the impaler, right? And now Joey knows the impaler is his sister. It's best, I don't know how Joey finna work this out, but this is a total conflict of interest for Joey, because then with Jacob going after the impaler and the impaler finding out, if the impaler gets mad enough, she can go after Jacob, and that's going to put Jacob in danger. But if Jacob does something to the impaler or vice versa, that puts Joey in a hot seat, because he already told Elon as well as Isaiah, I will never do nothing to intentionally put your family in danger. You have my word. So if, like I said, if the impaler starts going after Jacob because she feels like Jacob is digging too much, or even if Smitty is digging too much, you know what I mean? Then that can put the whole family at risk, right? Joey already is trying to hang something over Martin's head because he feels like, if Martin is in office, he can change certain legislation and Joey can get away with certain things. Excuse me. But we already see how all that's going. You know what I mean? Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, it's a total conflict of interest for Joey, because this can get messy. And then Joey is also hiding the identity of his sister. And loyalty with Joey is everything, but Joey is going to pick the loyalty and go with his sister before he go with Elon and Jacob and them. So I'm just like, I just wish Jacob would be done, because Elon knows that Jacob is digging too deep. And I was just like, Elon, you see Jacob like going overdrive. Send him home. You the chief of police and his daddy. Tell him to leave. He got to respect you. He don't want to be insubordinate. Send him home. Like, he digging and he barking up the wrong tree. Send him home. I'm hoping that with Joey reaching out to Elon, Joey will then have a conversation separately with Elon and just like say, I don't know what's going on, even though he's going to be lying. I don't know what's going on, but the streets are saying that your son need to stop digging on information for the impaler, or else he going to put himself in direct line of fire and something's going to happen to him. Just all Joey got to do is just tell Elon that, and then Elon will pull Jacob. That's it. And then won't got to worry about it more. I don't know. I'm ready for this impaler storyline to be over with. I know that. And she said that she left the DMV. At least that's what she told Joey. I don't think Joey's sister would lie to Joey, because why would she have to lie? That's Joey. It ain't like Joey gonna go and snitch. You know what I mean? But she also has eyes and ears everywhere. So we don't know where the workers for the impaler are. We don't know if they ever are around. We don't know if they've been frequenting Joey's casino. We would never know. Everybody knows where Joey is. You know what I mean? Everybody don't got access to Joey, but everybody know where they can find Joey. It ain't like that with the impaler, because like she said, she lives in London. At least that's what she told Joey. But if she lives in London and she running her operation from London, she completely out the way. So if anything ever happens, also everybody who working for her don't know her identity, so she can't get in trouble. So the way she got it, she really set it up good for real. But I'm just like, this is finna get messy. Not to mention, the storm is brewing at the fundraiser. And so we don't know what's about to happen. I thought when Leslie got that phone call, they was about to say that the seat opened up at the fundraising event, she could show up. But glad to know that wasn't the case. But yeah, Jacob, I don't know, Jacob. I'm nervous for you, gang. I understand that I may be hard on Naomi, but I think he do need to still be able to, create some balance. Hopefully they can have a conversation about him creating some balance and, him, doing the things that he need to do to, you know, make sure she good, make sure her family good, show up to stuff. Don't just be not showing up to stuff because all you care about is work, 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 and you so invested. I understand about it. And somebody, Elon, you ain't recognized that your son needs he needs to take a leave of absence because his grief is overtaking him. It's overtaking him. And he needs to go and talk to somebody and go through some classes or something. He needs to take a leave of absence and not worry about it. And you need to make him do it, Elon. But yeah, that's all I have for this review, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back with episode 105.